spent quite a number of time as a client-facing professional, as a customer service officer, as well as a private banker. And over time, I found out that it's inevitable that you would get to face angry people at one point or the other. Now, these anger issues might be reasons you're responsible for or reasons that you're not responsible for. My mission really for publishing this book is to get people to understand anger, see it as normal in quotes, and at the same time be able to find strategies which they are able to protect their self-esteem and confidence when they have cause to face angry people. So how do you manage an angry customer? First of all, I need us to understand that as human beings, we are emotional beings. And when I say emotional beings or emotional creatures, it means that we express different forms of emotions. Whether it's anger, whether it's happiness, whether it's fear, whether it's frustration, they are all emotions that we're expected to express as human beings. And on that note, emotions on the other leg comes in different forms and different light depending on the individuals that is expressing. But it's normal for you to express your emotions. So whether as anger or fear or frustration, it is normal for you to express it. So that would be the first thing that I want us to be able to absorb. And in that way, I call it servicing our minds. We can move on the slides, please. So servicing our minds means that we're, first of all, understanding the fact that as individuals, we are emotional and we express different forms of emotions. It could be anger, it could be fear, it could be frustration, depending on what the situation is. And when I also want to put it out there that whether we like to admit it or not, at one point or the other, we've been angry. We've been upset about one thing or the other. But the way we express it differs. Some people will go quiet when they're angry. Some will go all out and unleash all the words in the books. Some people will go quiet for a while and then come back to react. So we have different ways where we express anger. So just to address the fact that it is normal for you to be emotional, whether it's a positive one or a negative one. Now, when you have cause to then face an angry customer or an individual or a stakeholder at least, I want us to be able to then view whatever it is from an empathic aspect rather than being defensive, because it's normal for us to want to retreat or react back also in a negative manner when we're charged at by an angry customer. How do you then service your mind to be able to understand this? Knowing fully well that yes, this is a normal thing for someone to express their emotions. Okay, yeah, the slides are up now. So I've explained that we're emotional beings and that happy is normal, so is angry, so is fear, so is frustration, whatever it is. And emotions are contagious. So if you have someone that is angry, talk rudely to you, or raise their voice, most times our reaction is to do the same thing. If you have someone smiling happily around you, even when you don't know why they're smiling, it's normal for you to smile back. Maybe you're still wondering, why are you smiling? Why are you laughing so hard? We've seen several skits to where you just see individuals and just start running and everybody will run alongside, not even knowing why they're running. So emotions are contagious. And we have to be deliberate about how we then allow us to contact anger when people face us with their angry emotions. I view emotions as baggages, positive or negative. So if I'm happy and I'm radiating that happiness around you, you also sort of catch on it, which means you have taken on that baggage, though a positive one when it's happy. But when it's anger, it comes with that same baggage. Now, this can be viewed as a negative baggage. And if you're not careful, you will carry it. And that's why people that face a lot of angry people, even if it's one person, and you spend a lot of time with them, and you don't protect yourself, you don't set the right boundaries, you don't have the right mindset in managing such situations, you will end up carrying that baggage. And it will also weigh you down. And that's why I'm addressing this too from the aspect of how angry people can affect your emotions as well as your self-esteem and confidence. So emotions and baggages, like I had mentioned, and if you carry it, then you have that baggage on you at the same time. I did a survey before writing this book, engaging about 150 client-facing professionals in different industries and different walks of life, giving them options to talk about the most difficult aspect of their jobs. And from that survey, 52% came back that dealing with angry people is the most difficult part. You've had people quit their jobs because of these issues. You've had people who really give up on themselves because of having to take on angry people from back on a daily basis, taking different doses, increasing the baggages that they are carrying. So it is something major that we should talk about. And I am sure everybody here, physically and online, at one point or the other, you can relate to when you had to deal with an angry person, whether on the job or on personal grounds, that has really left you weary and tired. So number one, having had this background information and acceptance that anger is normal, it's just a human being doing what we're supposed to do as emotional creatures and expressing ourselves. So I came up with 8 strategic tips that you can use to manage this situation. And that's what is really detailed in the book. The book starts with a real life story, first of all, of an encounter that I had with one HNI client who was very upset for one reason or the other, which I was not privy to at that point in time, and how I was patient enough, empathetic enough to attend to him and focus on creating the solutions that he wanted at that point in time. So from the 8 strategies detailed in my book, the first one I talk about how we take things personally. And P there means personal, it's not. So it's for us to first of all not take these things personal. Now, not taking it personal does not mean that you're not going to be empathetic about the cost which the client is upset about. It's more about you being able to detach yourself from the baggage that is coming with the anger that the person is expressing. When you are able to detach yourself, you don't get offended. Like I mentioned earlier, you then view this person as an emotional human being, expressing his emotions at this point in time, who definitely has a lot of baggages he's carrying that you don't want him to dump on you. That's the leg of not taking it personal. And not allowing that to be dumped on you. You then view whatever expression of anger that is coming from such an individual from an empathetic aspect rather than being defensive. So you could go like, oh, this person was offensive, you use this word, you use this word, you probably come from the angle of he's definitely upset about something and can probably do something about it. So that's the first one, on not taking it personal. And I shared more details on how you can detach yourself from not taking that personal. Next on the list would be to listen. And there's a huge difference between listening and hearing. When I am talking, expressing myself, especially with angry people, there's a whole lot of things that come out that is not even related to the issue. They could even go personal sometimes in expressing themselves that, like, oh, you did this, you did that. The important thing at this point is to listen to what is the root cause of the problem. Now, when you listen, you can appreciate the listening act more when you realize that the person talking to you, especially when it comes to a client, expressing his anger, is upset about something, and the first reason why that person is facing you is because he feels that you have a solution to the problem. So rather than being upset, you should just take it as a hero here that can solve this person's problem. And where you came that point in time. But this is why this person is expressing this answer. So you will not listen to the fine details of the negative words that are being expressed at that point in time. Listening to also helps you to quickly identify the problem and help you start brainstorming on the solutions that you can go forward. They have spoken a lot about empathy. You need to be able to let the client know at that point in time that I'm on your side. I want to be able to resolve you. I feel you. I feel your pain at this point in time. And this is obvious not only in the things that you say, but also in your body language at that point in time. Because in your body, so it depends on how you actually position yourself. It becomes worse when you are even on the phone and these clients cannot see you physically. So there has to be more expressions to show that I'm in sync with what you're saying, and I feel your pain, and I am here to assist you. That sort of reduces the tension that is being built up. On that bit, I talk about apologize. Now, there's always a lot of conversation and maybe controversy around this, especially when people say, it's not my fault. Why do you want me to apologize? Apology forces to view it. If you're sorry that this person is upset, is enough. This person, like we had mentioned, is already carrying the baggage, whether you're responsible for it or not. So your apologies, first of all, be from that part. And we had also mentioned about being empathetic rather than defensive. So when you're saying, oh, I didn't cause this, I didn't that, you should be more, I'm sorry you are even upset. Whether I'm responsible for it or not, it's just the humane thing to do at that point. So it's not you accepting defeat, like some people have encountered me in the past, but it's first of all about you accepting that you're humane enough to recognize that this person is upset to a point where they have got into this angry status. Then after that, when you've listened, you've shown empathy, most times you will see that if you do not come from the defensive leg, or you're not interrupting the client, allow them to express themselves, you find out over time the anger will quiet down, because it takes two to tackle. Then we can move on to R, where you're supposed to retreat. Retreat here means that you then clarify. If you've been able to properly identify what the root cause is, what the problem is, before you then clarify if the following solutions will help in resolving that. I don't know whether I'm supposed to run through all, but the tips are there in the book, like I had mentioned. But then we can move on the slides. I had mentioned the first part here as the personal. Listen, empathize, apologize, then retreat, which is the next slide. You retreat, you identify solutions, and then you follow up. I take special interest in taking about because, first of all, is in two legs. First is to celebrate yourself when you've been able to diffuse an angry customer, you've been able to propose solutions, and of course you followed up. It takes a whole lot, and sometimes we are so quick to just move on to the next and not celebrate ourselves, talk about the good thing that you have done. And at the same time, take a vow to talks about where you know where to set boundaries. The customer and client relationship is not a master-slave relationship, and we've had some customers take that position where you know that because we are always on the right, because the client this, and then you always want to take advantage of that situation. So you need to know where to draw the boundaries, especially in protecting your self-esteem, in protecting your self-confidence. when it's beginning to look like this customer is just deliberately out to act like an agent from somewhere else or wants to take advantage and turn client-customer relationship into a master-slave relationship. We need to be able to identify that and know the necessary steps to take. I personally have had a situation in the course of my banking career where I had to formally request that I don't want to have to manage this customer anymore. And by the time I did that, even the management understood that could relate to this thing has reached here for you to be able to know where to exactly draw the line. So in summary, my message is for 3 categories of people. First, on top of the list of client-facing representatives, I've been there, I've done that, I know what it takes and what it entails. It's a day-to-day thing, and if not properly managed, if you do not prepare yourself properly, you're engaging customers, especially those that are upset. You don't accept that it's a norm. If you don't accept that you're being approached as a hero at this point, if you don't accept to know that whatever is going on, you should just listen to the root cause of the problem and not take it personal. All these are steps that you can take to prepare yourself and be able to serve the clients better and at the same time protect your self-esteem. And so attack that, be prepared. Be deliberate about preparing yourself, servicing your mind, marinating yourself to know how to engage such people. For organizations, I tell them to be proactive in the sense that these situations will come. It will happen whether now or later. Whether you're as a management top level, you probably don't have the regular duties that the client-facing officers do have. So while you're preparing for every other thing, we get them the tools that they need. We get them different things. We should also get them the training that they need when it comes to managing angry people, angry clients, because it will definitely happen. And it's a major source of protecting your brand as an organization when you're able to handle that properly. But finally, my message is for everybody, because we are emotional creatures, like I said. We do relate with each other for different reasons and different purposes. Whether the person is your subordinate, your at par or senior level to you, it is important. We all admit that we've been angry at one point or the other. It is important that we consciously make that effort to express whatever we are upset about in a manner that does not erode other people of their self-confidence or dignity. We can still communicate how we feel, what we're not happy about, without making people feel lesser of themselves, irrespective of whatever they are to us or in what area they're serving us, even as our domestic staffs as a kid. So my message in that regard is to be kind, because that's just exactly what you're doing at that point in time. At this point, I'd say thank you very much. I hope I'll be able to demystify all that, which is my mission, and that we will, wherever category we fall into in these 3 places, be prepared, be proactive, and be kind. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, Omawunmi. So much have been covered. But I want you to know that you need to get the book, because there's wisdom nuggets at the end of each chapter, and you need to go there and look at details. And the beauty of this book is the simplicity, which makes it very easy to apply practically all that is seen in the book. It's less of theory and more of practical experience, and that's what we really need. So I really want to congratulate you on this book. And then, if you have questions, you can just indicate if you want to ask the question, whether you're on site or online. Online, you can just put it in the chat box and then you read out the question and you get an answer response from Omawunmi. But meanwhile, I want to say that I like the format of the outline of the book. We talk about we know the occupations and then the rifts. And I want to ask you, is it by happenstance or chance arrangement, or you just want to make it easy for us to remember the knowledge of the book, or just the flow of when you were writing the book? How did you come about it? I mean, I can easily think of B, okay, let's be personal, that's not L, I should listen, E, I should be perfectly, and then the A, I should apologize. And then when you look at the rate, we're talking about its rates, by 5 things, and then it's a solution, and then the F is follow up, and then the T is difficult. So I just want to ask, what was the thinking behind these abbreviations that you used to?
Thank you very much. No doubt, yes, it's to make it stick more and easy to remember. The truth is that written all the 8 weeks, and then eventually found out that, we could actually come up with an acronym that will fit into this. And yes, it helps with remembering. And I mean, the acronyms to also fit into what we're talking about in terms of P and RIFT when it comes to anger. Thank you.
That's so good. It's so easy to remember because in any given I think about this and like
It's yourself.
okay,
It's yourself.
I think about sometimes like wait, I mean that is like you are so how about you balance that in terms of what I carry through and at the same time it's like when you were talking here, you did eye contact with me, so I was like, okay, that was in my first question. How do you balance that?
Thank you very much. So when it goes to just like how to play, there's a way. Thanks, Steve. There's a way you can say that is just what you have to say and say my own. Some people, even though they are paying to listen, but they're just listening to respond. They're not listening to assimilate what you're saying. So staring is not supposed to be constant rigid status. It's just to show that you have my attention and listening to people and so the stare is more, we're not supposed to be intense, but so you have my attention and I'm listening. I'm here to support and provide solutions. That's really positive.
Thank you so much for that response. Another thing, because for me, listening is so important because I mean in communication on the stage, we go about 45% listening, 30% talking, 90% speaking and all that. So listening is so absolute when it comes to customer service. And I think just talking about how offensive interrupting can be. Because when a customer is angry and you're talking and this line is just easy. You are like, how you stop interrupt because the answer, and it's not form as what I have to say is better than what I have to say. I'm not just like what I have to say or what to say is important. So I need to feel their lines not offensive because I mean, it can be so close and functional. I have to train myself not to interrupt me. Because when I said anything about the box, this is so offensive. So I just have to say a few things about what the customer see when we interrupt, especially Thank you very much.
There's actually a part in the book where I talk about the people world. People shout. And why do they shout? They feel something is wrong. You know it's wrong in their mind. They're trying to pour it out to you. And the moment there seems to be like there's a barrier in getting that action to raise their voice. So the system basically your customer why they talk and he wants to raise his voice across to you who has been perceived as a provider. So you need to make it loud enough for you to hear. In listening aspect, your body language is what can get rid of that increasing anymore. To let the client know that I have someone that is listening to me now. There's no barrier in between us as it is. And when you bring some words, you're just making that word higher. You're building it higher. You're not just higher, you're making and he must be able to crash through the invisible wall. So interrupting, and this is very rampant when it comes to we that have customer interact with customers the lot, because we see these problems often. Before you open your mouth, I really don't know. So from the organic sense, so I know this is what you have to do, and that person has not finished expressing himself. There might be more. But because you've seen it happen so many times, you already assume without listening that I know where you are clear, I have this, but let me just tell you, so I can move on to the next person. So you have to be patient. Like you said, consciousness, training ourselves to listen, because you might not know the other. And an angry person expressing, I think there's a quote against to say, it's a major source for you to learn on things that you can improve on. When people talk to you about things they don't like, that they are upset about. So things are going to happen, do not interrupt. At least let them get to the end where they exhausted themselves in meeting. In fact, someone that intends to say so much more, by the time they see that you're calm, listening, paying attention, automatically just brings it down and gets rid of that invisible wall. Thank you.
Any question?
Okay.
So, I don't know, I'm sure everyone, when you go to the counter, when you go somewhere, it's, you want to use your peers, it's correct or savings, savings, or say correct. Correct or savings. I don't know if you experience that. They're not not only that person, but it's very difficult in the short term. Correct or savings, correct. Correct or savings, I don't know if you experience that. You know what I'm doing that. Like you.
That question was just a question you asked by default. They were not ready for your answer. And then when they are ready, because now they have the view and you want to actually punch it in and then they answer. I think that points more to the organization to deliberately train, like I mentioned. So people don't know how upsetting these things are. So even if I've come to you, I'm not an angry customer. You asked me something and you didn't answer me. I think I can relate to that because I've seen instances where, okay, they've now tried this POS, it's not working, and then they get out. Before watching the hair, current doesn't say, they're not listening. So it happens. So I think organizations should deliberately make efforts in communicating that. Don't be trying to front of feel that distraction in the process.
Thank you.